Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's dive right in. Our top story today is the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The situation has been escalating over the past week, with both sides reporting heavy fighting and casualties. According to reports, Israeli troops have surrounded the key town of Bint Jbeil, which is located just 5 kilometers from the Israeli border. The town has long been a flashpoint in confrontations between Israeli forces and Hezbollah, and its capture would be a significant strategic victory for Israel. The Iranian-backed Hezbollah has been engaged in clashes with Israeli forces in Bint Jbeil for days, with both sides reporting intense fighting and shelling. The Israeli military has reported killing over 100 Hezbollah fighters in the area, while Hezbollah has claimed to have targeted Israeli forces and vehicles. The conflict began when Hezbollah fired rockets at Israel after U.S.-Israeli strikes killed Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, on February 28. Israel responded with massive strikes and a ground invasion, and the situation has been deteriorating ever since. Diplomatic efforts are underway to contain the cross-border fighting, with Israeli and Lebanese officials set to hold talks in Washington on April 14. The goal of these talks is to find a way to end the war and establish a lasting peace in the region. We'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as more information becomes available. It's a complex and sensitive issue, and we'll strive to provide balanced and unbiased coverage. In related news, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has visited troops in southern Lebanon and said that Israeli forces have eliminated the threat of an invasion by Hezbollah militants. However, he also acknowledged that there is still more work to be done to establish a security zone in South Lebanon. The international community is watching the situation closely, and there are concerns about the humanitarian impact of the conflict on civilians in the region. We'll do our best to provide context and analysis as the story continues to unfold. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into a significant development in UK politics, as the government announces plans to seek dynamic alignment with the European Union in areas such as food standards and energy. This move, favored by Labour, aims to reduce trade barriers and make it easier for businesses to operate, potentially leading to lower prices for consumers. Prime Minister Starmer has defended the policy, stating that a stronger, closer relationship with Europe is in the UK's best interests, particularly in times of global uncertainty. He emphasized the importance of cooperation on defence, security, energy, and the economy. However, not everyone is convinced, with Reform UK leader Nigel Farage vowing to oppose the legislation, calling it a backdoor attempt to drag Britain back under EU control. It's essential to consider the potential trade-offs involved in this decision. While dynamic alignment may lead to economic benefits, it could also mean the UK has less control over regulations surrounding certain industries, such as food production. As Anand Menon, director of the UK in a Changing Europe think tank, pointed out, this is a delicate balance between political autonomy and economic interests. As the UK navigates this complex issue, it's crucial to weigh the pros and cons and consider the long-term implications for the country's economy, security, and global standing. With local elections approaching and speculation surrounding the Prime Minister's leadership, this move is likely to be a pivotal moment in UK politics. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we conclude today's show, I want to bring attention to a story that has sparked significant debate and discussion in recent days. The British government's ban on Palestine action under anti-terror legislation has led to widespread protests, with many arguing that the move infringes upon freedom of speech and assembly. Robert Del Nacha, the lead vocalist of the iconic band Massive Attack, was among over 500 people arrested during a protest in London's Trafalgar Square. The demonstration, dubbed Everyone Day, saw hundreds gather to oppose the ban on Palestine action. Del Naja took part in the protest, holding a sign that read, "I oppose genocide, I support Palestine action." In a statement posted to Instagram following his arrest, Del Naja expressed his concerns about the implications of the ban and the subsequent arrests. He described it as madness that individuals can be arrested under the Terrorism Act for peacefully expressing their opposition to genocide and support for nonviolent action. It's essential to acknowledge the complexities surrounding this issue. The British government has argued that the ban is necessary to prevent terrorism, while opponents claim that it unfairly targets peaceful activists and undermines democratic values. As the situation continues to unfold, it's crucial to consider multiple perspectives and engage in informed discussions. Del Naja's arrest and statement have sparked a renewed conversation about the balance between national security and individual freedoms. With over 700 people arrested for allegedly voicing support for Palestine action since the ban was put in place, this is an issue that warrants careful examination and consideration. As we conclude today's show, I encourage listeners to stay informed about this developing story and to think critically about the implications of such bans on freedom of expression. Remember that a well-informed public is essential to a healthy democracy. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.